They're programming you. Every ping, every notification, every endless scroll. They're all strings attached to your soul, turning you into a puppet whose only job is to consume. They want you weak, distracted, and desperate for the approval of the crowd. They want you to fear solitude, because a man who can stand alone is a man they can't control. Globally, it's estimated that around 210 million people suffer from internet and social media addiction. While the raw number is huge, the reality for young people is even darker. In the United States, about 10% of the population may have a social media addiction. But for young adults aged 18 to 22, some studies show a staggering 40% report feeling addicted to it. This isn't an accident. It's by design. It's a system built to keep you docile, dependent, and always wanting more. The lonely man scrolls endlessly, lost in the digital noise, begging for the hollow validation of a like. He craves the warmth of the crowd, not realizing it's the warmth of a fire that will eventually consume him. But there is another path, the path of the Ronin, the masterless warrior. He walks alone, not because he's unwanted, but because he knows the crowd is a liability. His solitude isn't a weakness, it's his forge. In the crushing silence, he sharpens his mind, his body, and his spirit until he becomes untouchable. This is the protocol to turn that forced loneliness into your ultimate weapon. This is how you become dangerous. The first truth you have to accept is a harsh one. The crowd is poison. It's a slow-acting neurotoxin that seeps into your consciousness, diluting your instincts and replacing them with the mediocre thoughts and desires of the herd. Constant exposure to other people, their opinions, their fears, their endless chatter makes you average. You start to think like them, act like them, and want what they want. Your unique signal gets drowned out by the static of the collective. The Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca understood this with chilling clarity. He warned that we should avoid the crowd because no one can be safely entrusted to it. He wasn't some antisocial hermit. He was a strategist of the soul. He knew that every interaction is an exchange of energy, and most people aren't sources of power, but black holes of neediness. They don't build you up. They drain your vital energy, infect your spirit with their anxieties, and corrupt your purpose with their drama. If you're never alone, you're never truly yourself. You just become a reflection of the last person you spoke to, a hollow echo in a chamber of noise. This is the great manipulation of modern society. It conditions you to see solitude as loneliness and loneliness as failure. It cranks up the noise to a deafening roar, so you can never hear the one voice that truly matters, your own. In the silence, a man confronts his true self. In the noise, he's handed a convenient escape. This constant distraction kills your intuition. You lose the ability to trust your gut, to read situations, to see the patterns everyone else misses. You become predictable, and that makes you easy to control. You chase the validation of people you don't respect, buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like, and live a life that isn't even yours, all because you're terrified of the silence. The Greek Stoic Epictetus built his entire philosophy on one indestructible principle. You must distinguish what you can control from what you can't. You can't control the crowd's opinions. You can't control their praise or their condemnation. To seek their approval is to hand them the keys to your own prison. True freedom, he taught, is found by rejecting that external validation completely. No crowd can define you. No opinion can diminish you unless you let it. When you turn away from the noise, you aren't running away. You're turning towards the only thing you can ever truly master. Yourself. The man who needs no applause is the man who can do anything. He is free. To truly break free, you have to learn to enter the void. This isn't some empty, nihilistic concept. It's the ultimate state of clarity and power, described by the legendary swordsman Miyamoto Musashi in the Book of Five Rings. Musashi's Scroll of the Void is his final and most profound teaching, because it's the source of all true strategy. The void is a state of mind you reach through radical solitude, where your consciousness is cleared of all debris, all fear, all doubt, all distraction. Musashi wrote, "By knowing things that exist, you can know that which does not exist." That's the key. The world bombards you with things that exist: social media feeds, news cycles, the demands of others, your own looping thoughts. This is the noise. The void is that which does not exist. It is pure, untapped potential. It's the silence between the notes that gives music its power. By stepping out of the chaos, you finally get the perspective to see it for what it truly is. Silence reveals your instinct. Noise buries it. Inside the void, you learn to act without hesitation, without the pollution of outside influence. Musashi was clear: never depend on a partial feeling. The modern man is a creature of partial feelings. He's half committed to his job, half present with his family, half dedicated to his own improvement. He's fragmented and weak. The warrior forged in the void, however, acts with total commitment. His every action is whole, decisive, and executed with a singular focus. That's impossible to achieve when your attention is constantly being ripped apart by the outside world. Solitude is the training ground for total commitment. This path demands sacrifice, Musashi states. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. This isn't about neglecting yourself. It's about priorities. The body's comfort, its desire for ease, pleasure, and the absence of pain is secondary. Your honor, your purpose, your unbreakable will, that is primary. In the solitude of the void, you strip away the addiction to comfort. You learn to endure, to persist, to find strength in discipline, not pleasure. This is where the weakness of the consumer dies and the strength of the creator is born. The warrior who has mastered the void sees what others can't. He sees the subtle rhythm in a negotiation, the flicker of weakness in an opponent's eyes, the unspoken truth behind a lie. This hyper-awareness isn't a mystical gift, it's a skill forged in the silent crucible of solitude, where the mind, free from distraction, can finally see reality as it is. This isn't philosophy for a classroom, it's a command. You must weaponize your solitude. There's no gentle introduction. There are no half measures. There is only execution. This is the protocol. Step 1, digital severance. Your phone isn't a tool. It's your electronic leash. It's a dopamine drip that keeps you chained to a state of perpetual weakness, always craving the next meaningless ping. It is the primary gateway for the crowd's poison to enter your mind. You cannot become dangerous while you are still tethered to it. The action is simple and non-negotiable, a complete 24-hour detox. This means power off, not on silent, not in another room, off. For 24 hours, there will be no screens, no notifications, no mindless scrolling. Lock it in a drawer if you have to. Then, walk out into the world. Walk the empty streets at dawn. Sit in a park without a device in your hand. Feel the phantom vibrations in your pocket. Feel that gnawing pull of anxiety. The desperate urge to check in. That's the addiction revealing itself. Your task is to feel that pull and crush it. Observe the impulse and let it die. This severance is a hard reset for your brain. Your overstimulated dopamine receptors will finally begin to heal. Your focus, which has been shattered into 1,000 tiny pieces, will start to come together. Your instincts, buried under an avalanche of digital garbage, will begin to surface. Musashi demanded total commitment, and you can't be totally committed to anything while you're still a slave to a device. This is the first essential act of rebellion. Step 2, the mirror test. After you've cut the external leash, you must confront the enemy within. You have to face the weak self you've allowed to grow in the shadows of distraction. The action is brutal in its simplicity. For 30 minutes, you will stand in a dimly lit room and stare into your own eyes in a mirror. No music, no phone, no distractions. Just you and the man in the glass. Don't blink. Don't look away. Don't escape. You will be forced to confront every lie you tell yourself, every excuse you make, every fear you hide. You will face the softness that a life of comfort and validation seeking has cultivated. It will burn. The discomfort will become almost unbearable. Your mind will scream for a distraction. For any escape, you must endure. This is a direct application of Musashi's principle. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. The discomfort of your body, the panic in your mind, it's all temporary. Your honor is forged in this fire. When the urge to break becomes a roaring inferno and you stand your ground, that is the moment you break the old you. The man who can look himself in the eye without flinching for 30 minutes is no longer afraid of the truth. He walks out of that room with a cold, absolute clarity. He knows his weaknesses, and now he can begin to systematically destroy them. Step 3, creative destruction. A man in solitude cannot stay passive. The void is not for consumption. It is for creation. You must channel the immense energy you've reclaimed from distraction into building your weapons. The action is to choose one path and dedicate 2 hours to it. Every single day in absolute solitude. No phone in the room, no background noise. This is your forge. Pick one. Build an iron body. Get into a garage or an empty gym and train until you hit true failure. No flexing for Instagram, no chatting between sets. Just you, the iron, and the will to push past pain. Build a business. Take out a blank notebook and draft a real business plan. Outline revenue streams, marketing strategies, and product designs. Create the blueprint for your own freedom. Build a kill skill. Dedicate 2 hours to coding an app, learning a new language, or mastering a martial art. Build a skill that makes you more capable, more independent, and more dangerous. This is the process of creative destruction. You are destroying the old passive consuming self by building a new active creating self. Seneca advised avoiding crowds to reclaim your energy. This is where you invest it. The void, as Musashi taught, sharpens the blade. This focused daily creation is how you sharpen yourself. You are no longer operating on partial feelings. This is total output. You are not just passing time alone. You are building an arsenal. You are forging the tools of your own liberation. They sold you a lie. They told you that being alone makes you a loser. The truth is the opposite. The real loser is the one lost in the crowd, screaming for attention. The dangerous man is the one who has mastered solitude. Go into the void. Survive the silence. Come back dangerous. Execute the protocol. Then report back. Subscribe and begin your transformation.